Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how I store my doll clothes. This is where my dolls live. It's in my scrap room, which is really messy right now. I've got a lot of stuff on the go. But this is where my dolls sit, so usually I do my work right over there, and then I can look up and see them right here. There's only two of them here right now because the rest of them are over here in my kind of photo area. I just made a bed and bookshelf last week, and I've decided to braid Luna's hair until I can re-wig her because her hair is a disaster. So I think she looks really cute with the braids, so I'm going to leave them in until I can re-wig her. So I've got like a gathering of dolls over there. Usually I kind of clean that up when I'm done a photo shoot, but I just didn't get a chance. So all of that gets kind of packed up and put away, and this is mostly a crafting area. So anyways, that's where my dolls live, and then right above them is where my Pullip stuff goes. So I'm going to take that stuff down. It's kind of very precariously stacked up there. I'm going to move some of this stuff. That is a little box of mini albums and stuff from scrapbooking that I'm just going to move over to another place so that I can have room to kind of spread out my doll clothes. But anyways, for now they're all stacked up there, and I'm going to take them down and show you how I have them. So now you're looking at them from the top, which is a little not very helpful, so I'm going to unstack them so that you can see what I've got here. I'll tell you what this is too. Right. So I've got a whole bunch of boxes here, and I have one that I haven't filled yet just to show you what the label looks like on these boxes. They are KIS, I think that stands for Keep It Simple, stackable containers. They are called Omnibox, and I think KIS is the kind of like the company. There's a website there. I get these at Canadian Tire. I live really close to a Canadian Tire. I don't know if you can get them other places. It looks like it might be a Canadian company because it says made in Canada here, which is kind of nice for those of us who are Canadian. And it's just kind of like a really simple plastic box. It's not terribly heavy duty or anything, which makes it really light, which is easy to kind of store it up high so I can kind of bring it down and it's not terribly heavy. These stickers come off super easy. They're not the kind that, so they come off. They don't leave any kind of residue, which is really nice. And they have clear lids, as you can see, and the lids have like the KIS logo and some little circles on it. And so these are really great, but if you can't get these, obviously there's a whole bunch of different companies that make similar kinds of storage products. What I look for when I'm looking for a bin is something see-through so that I can see it, and so that it's neutral and it doesn't kind of like, what I want to be able to do is if I need to get more and I can't get the same brand, I want to get something that's neutral enough that I can buy more in a different brand if I want to. But having a whole bunch of the same brand is really nice because they do stack, like they're kind of made so that the bottom of one kind of fits nicely inside. They don't click or anything, but it fits nicely inside the lid of the other one. So, and that's another thing that I kind of look for, is something that's stackable so that I can, you know, put a whole bunch in a small space. So as you see, I had them really stacked up, and I can kind of cram a whole lot into a small space. These are approximately 8 by, they're a little bit more than 12. They're not quite 13. I guess if you count the top, they're probably about 8 by 13 inches for the bigger ones. And they come in a couple of different sizes. I have 2. They might make more than 2. And these ones are about 5.5 or 6 by about 8. So, and what I really like about these is that 2 of the little ones will fit on top of one of the big ones so that they look kind of like that, which makes it easy to kind of mix and match what you've got. So I'm going to show you this first. So this is, I think I got this at a craft store. Yes, I got this at Michael's, and it's made for storing craft supplies in, and it opens up and it has these little removable dividers that you can take. I just keep my extra ones here in case I want to kind of reconfigure how I do it. So in this, I keep all of my shoes. So all the boots are in this big huge section. All of my black shoes are kind of together. And then these are Pullip brand shoes, like the from Groove. And these are Pullip shoes too that I either bought or that came with dolls. And then these are Live doll shoes. They're all kind of sneakers. Then I keep a couple of clear elastics for ponytails and some tiny little clips that I bought at the dollar store, just for clipping their hair and stuff. I keep a couple of ribbons that I just cut from my craft supply stuff just for tying their hair up, and this is another, this kind of goes over here actually. I don't even know where these boots came from, but I have them. I think they might be Re-Meant boots. And then the little bows that came with the British Nerd outfit. I used to make these. They're called glitzy blooms, and they're pieces of fabric that have been burnt around the edges and then sewn together to make a little clip for, you can clip it on your coat or in your hair or whatever, and they make really cute hair accessories. And then I have a couple props here that I just had from the movie video that I did, the Let Her Go video, and these are going to come up in different places in the story. So I have one that's, I made two of them. I made one that's opened and one that I left closed because my story is going to have flashbacks, and so I need to have that unopened still for some flashbacks. And then I keep the scarves that I have right here and some of the leftover Tokidoki tattoos. And you know, I have these brushes here, but I really shouldn't, because it's not a good idea to brush your doll's hair with a plastic brush or comb, because it does make them more staticky, which will make them more frizzy over time. So you actually don't want to, these are like little My Little Pony or some type of hairbrushes from my kids' toys, and I think they were being helpful of trying to give them to me, but they're not something that I would use on my doll's hair. It's a good idea to use a metal, like I use an American Girl brush when I brush my doll. I don't brush my doll's hair all that often because it's better to just kind of leave it. But you want to use an American Doll brush, and you just want to lightly mist it with just water when you brush your doll's hair. So that's kind of like all my accessories, and I didn't bother labeling it because I know that it's accessories. It's see-through, and it's the only one of these that I have. So then I keep the dresses in this larger box. I just recently switched to the larger box. I did have my dresses in one of these smaller ones. And these are, you know, a combination of Barbie dresses and dresses that I made and dresses that I bought specifically for Pullips. And so I like to keep them in here. The thing about storing doll clothes is that you always want to close the Velcro before you put it in the box, because if you leave the Velcro open, this can get caught on something else and cause damage to the other clothes. So I'm always very careful about closing the Velcro on anything that has Velcro. So that one is dresses. And then I have sweaters and jackets. So these are any kind of like, well, sweaters and jackets is pretty self-explanatory. A lot of them are Barbie or tie clothing. And then I have, this one is tops. And so most of my tops are Barbie tops. I've got a couple of things that I bought on Etsy and that sort of, you don't need to see all my clothes to see how it's stored, but anyways, so I keep the tops in that. Maybe I should get some of these out of the way. And I keep bottoms and headgear. So bottoms include skirts and pants. And I have a lot of like Barbie pants because I've only got a couple of dolls. So I've got some like skirts that came with stock outfits and that sort of thing, and shorts. And so all the bottoms are in here. I might someday need to separate this when it's getting a little full, so I might need to separate it between skirts and pants eventually. And then this is all like hats and bows and things that came with stock outfits. So it's, I call it headgear because it includes like headbands and bows and stuff. Then I keep all my doll's underwear in one container, and that includes like socks and underskirts and panties too. I think I've got one pair of panties here. Yeah, so just I keep all that stuff in there. The reason I categorize my clothes like this instead of just dumping them into one big bin is that usually that's kind of how I think when I'm dressing my dolls. I think like, okay, what kind of bottom do I want, what kind of top do I want, and I like to mix and match. So when I get an outfit, so for example, I got the Coney Island outfit, which includes this bow. Instead of keeping like the dress and the socks and the skirt and the bow all together, I'll just split it up, and that way when I'm dressing my doll, if she's wearing something else and I think, oh, that bow would look nice, it's right here so I can see it. It helps me kind of just remember what I have. But some people might like to keep their outfits all together in outfits, and if that's the case, then this storage system probably wouldn't work for you. You might want to use like little Ziploc bags or something. So, but this is how it works for me, because it's kind of just how I dress my dolls, is I like to mix and match. The other thing that I do is when I color fast some clothes, because if you put dark clothes on a Pullip body, it will stain the body. Especially the soft body obitsus, they get stained really, really easily. Mine already have stains. And so what I do is when I color fast clothes, I just set them all out when they're dry, and I take a picture of them. That way I know that all of this stuff has been color fasted, and I don't have to worry about putting it directly on my dolls and leaving it on them for a long time. And I just kind of color fast a bunch of stuff at a time, and then you know, I won't do it again for, like, I don't color fast every single thing as it comes in if it's dark, and I only color fast my darker things. And there's some things in here that probably didn't need to be color fasted, like this one or those socks, but I just did it because I was doing the other things. This British Nerd jacket or sweater is terrible. Like, it stains really a lot. Even after I color fasted it, I think it still is staining things. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. And the way that you color fast is you soak it in water and vinegar and salt for like half an hour or an hour or something, and then you just rinse it and you dry it. So I just like to keep track of what's been color fasted, so I know what I can what I need to be careful with and what I can relax about. I have this just little dish from my kitchen that has most of these are things that I kind of lifted from my kids' bedrooms. So they're sort of borrowed, but I have like the Tokidoki toy that came with Luna, and I bought this for myself just to have a little doll for my doll because it's cute. And this is My Little Pony that I stole from one of my kids. Borrowed, didn't steal, I borrowed. And then these are, I think, McDonald's toys. So I keep those in there, and then I keep my Pullip's jewelry in a little, this is called Flambeau, is the brand. It's just a little tiny divider, and I got this at Canadian Tire too. It's for keeping like screws and nails in and stuff, or maybe for fishing gear. And so I have a couple of things that I made for my dolls, and then some of the stuff that came with different stock outfits and stuff, just so that I don't lose those items. And then the only other thing that I have that's that I keep separate is I have this box that's just dedicated to Bloody Red Hood and Aurora stock. I don't have the Aurora doll, but the stock outfit is, I ordered it a while ago, so I just bought, I bought it from somebody on eBay, and so I'm waiting for that to arrive, and when it arrives I'm going to put it in this, because this is kind of like for my fiction that I'm doing with Pullip. It's kind of like pick fic, but it's going to be in the form of movie videos. And basically my Surrey character, who is Bloody Red Hood, whenever it's like a current scene, like a modern, like today, she'll be wearing her Bloody Red Hood stock, but whenever it's a flashback, she'll be wearing Aurora stock, and that will kind of help people determine, kind of get their mind around where they're at in the story, because there's going to be some flashbacks. So I'm just keeping all of that stuff together so I don't have to search through those bins for it, because this stuff is different from my other clothes. So, oh yeah, and then the other thing that I have that I keep my kind of for my Pullips is I have this box, and it's just something that a scrapbooking kit came in, but it's a really nice box and it's a good size, so I just keep all my purses in here. So I have Luna's Tokidoki handbag that she came with, and then the rest of these are all Liv. I think they're all Liv doll. This might be a Barbie. And they're all, like, some of these I ordered some Liv doll clothes on eBay a while ago, and this I ordered from somebody who had Pullip clothes, so I don't know what this is from. But yeah, so. And I just kind of labeled it so I don't forget what's in there, because it's not see-through. So that's how I store my doll clothes. If you guys have ideas about how you store your clothes, like if you hang them up or if you keep them all just in a big huge bin or whatever, feel free to share, because it's always nice to see how other people do things. When I kind of started accumulating clothes, I went to YouTube to look for storage, like doll clothes storage ideas, because in scrapbooking, like, we're big on storing stuff and figuring out how to keep all of our stuff organized. And I was really surprised that not many people share their storage options for doll clothes. So that's why I wanted to make this video. So I hope you guys find it helpful, and thanks for checking out my video. Bye.